Hey everyone, welcome back to another Inner Sleuths live stream. We are picking up in PaxCast right where we left off. We're on episode 12, I believe we're up to now. This is season 1, episode 12 of PaxCast, and it is called Big Content Coming for a Reason. We just got a major drop of information. We got a bunch of people in chat. We got Burger, Raz is in chat, and he's also in here. This is his debut with PaxCast. So everyone give a big welcome to Raz. Gifford's in chat. Yeah. Hope everyone's doing great today. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. We got a bunch of stuff to unpack here. They just this morning at 8:18 in the morning Central Standard Time released a pretty big drop of information. It's probably going to be disappointing to some people, but hope for others. You take the information and do with it what you will. But we've been having a ton of fun in PAX Day. We've been building a really great community. So if you guys would like to join the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord, you can type !Discord in chat. You will get a link that will take you over to our Discord. You don't need to play PAX Day. You don't need to play any of the games. If you just want to hang out with us, if you play PAX Day or if you play World of Warcraft or any other games, we host our own private servers for things. It's a great community. Awesome people have been joining in over there. So we've been having a bunch of fun hanging out with just really cool people. So make sure you check that out. If you guys would like to join us in game because you see how much fun we have and you like the camaraderie of the Order of the Blood Brothers, you can type !website where you'll get a link over to our website to submit an application to join the Order of the Blood Brothers. Our clan is ever growing. Our application process is pretty easy. You just go to the website, register, and then you can fill out, you just copy the template, fill out the questions, post it, bada bing, bada boom. It's pretty easy. If you have an application in already and it is marked pending, make sure that you get in touch with an admin over on the Discord and we'll get you vetted so we can properly get you into the Order of the Blood Brothers. We have a clan on PAX Day. We have a guild in World of Warcraft. We host private servers. Once you submit a singular application and you get accepted, you are into everything. You don't need to submit an application for multiple things. Once you're in, you're good. And also to join our community, you don't need to submit an application. Anybody is welcome to join our community and come hang out with us and chat with us. But if you join us, you will get the full force of the Order of the Blood Brothers behind you. And we are very loyal people. We have a bunch of fun together. We've been kicking butt over in PAX Day. It's been a lot of fun. We've been endgame for quite some time now, but that's why this episode of PaxCast is really important because it's going to be talking about what is to come in the not too distant future, to be honest. We have a sub goal, as you can see up in the top left corner, of 1,000. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs. We have been flying towards it, to be honest. I've been so happy and so surprised with the turnout. I'm glad that you guys are having such a great time with the channel and enjoying the content that we're putting out. We are pushed past 660 currently. I know the number says 656. It lags a little bit behind. I see different numbers on my end of for the subscriptions. But once we reach 1,000 subscribers, we will be doing a 24-hour subathon where several hours will be put on the clock, and that clock can be extended with Tangia interactions, which are currently paused, as you can see in the bottom left. But Tangia interactions and gifted memberships will extend the clock further and further, allowing us to hopefully reach 24 hours. I don't know if I can do 24 hours. I don't know. I'm going to sleep the whole day before. I don't know if you guys can make it 24 hours, but we're going to do our best. Great to see you, John. Welcome in chat. It says Ghost Forest background, Willow Wisp to the left. It's a pretty awesome backdrop, if I do say so myself. Victor, how's it going? He says, hello, bro. From Sweden. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for stopping by. We got a bunch of information to get to today, but first things first, let me unpause Tangia here. Anything that's queued up while Tangia is paused will come through in order that they were received. If you guys would like to interact with the stream in any way other than chat, you can type !Tangia in chat and you will get a link over to our Tangia where you can send all kinds of funny memes. Normally it's useful. It's mostly used when I'm streaming. If I die, people put like wasted up on screen and just funny stuff like that. Hawk, welcome into the chat. Hope you're doing great today. I want your guys' opinions on a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about here. So make sure you speak up. That's my favorite thing to do, is interact with you guys in chat, answer your questions, give my 2 cents on all these little things that we're going to be getting into. We have a bunch to get into, so we're going to get right into it. Rugrat, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. I missed you, man. You got to come around some more. But I hope you guys are all having a great day. Let's get into this. So PAX Day Mainframe has just put out a post today at 8:18 in the morning Central Standard Time. And they say, hello, Paxians. We wanted to provide you with a quick status update on game content. Not as detailed as you might expect, but still giving you some detail on what we've been working on. We kind of know what they've been working on a little bit. They're pretty transparent on some of the stuff they're doing. We just don't know when the things are going to come. Like we have a roadmap. I think I actually have the roadmap queued up. Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to try and pull up the roadmap. Is that it? There it is. Okay, cool. Let me unlock it and move it down just a touch. So this is the roadmap that we've seen before. We just don't know when the stuff on the roadmap is going to come because they don't have like a time frame. It's starting to look like we may get quarterly updates, like quarterly big updates, but I'm not going to set that in stone. We haven't gotten any big content updates as of yet. We've gotten hot fixes and patches, and that's how it has to go, right? They need to fix all of these smaller things first. They need to fix all of the bugs, get it into a state where they can start introducing new content. You don't want to just put shit on top of shit. You gotta let it, you gotta fix the first issues first, and then you get on to adding the new content and then fixing the issues with that. So they go on to say, during the weeks following early access launch, our team has been focusing on fixing major issues and bugs to make your experience in-game smoother, which I have noticed. There have not been that many crashes going across borders anymore, as far as I can tell. I think they're starting to get and I have not done too much traveling as of late, but it seems like they're starting to get a lot of that dialed in. Hopefully they can get some of the lag under control. They removed FSR for some reason, which severely reduced my game performance, but it's still in acceptable state. Last week, a couple weeks ago, it was terrible. I was getting only like 20 FPS, but it's a lot better now. I'm back up to a more reasonable amount. But hopefully they can continue to fix all of these bugs so we can start to introduce all this content. We're at 250 out of 2000 for level 1 Tangia Party. You can see that over there in the top left. They also go on to say that now that most of the major issues have been taken care of, it is time to focus on developing content and features again. This is what we want, right? This is what we are all here for. Yesterday's stream was a chill, just hang out and chat stream. We talked about all of our things that are on our wish list that we want to see introduced into PAX Day. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that they have actually been working on. And hopefully there's some overlap there with the roadmap, with our wish list, and with what we know is in the works. Note that our team has been hard at work during the summer, even though we also took some time off to rest, which is part of why there hasn't been a big content drop until now. And we're like only a couple months into this. I keep saying that on all of my streams. It's hard to imagine. It's hard to like actually grasp that we're not years into this. We're not like Star Citizen depth where it's like, come on, let's go. We're only a couple months in. So honestly, I feel like the game's in a pretty good spot, all things considered. I don't know about you guys. Sound off in chat. Let me know how your experience has been. I know there's some bugs that have been bugging people, pun intended, but there's like, trees coming through your place. Nothing has actually been stopping me from playing the game though. So they are talking here about the patch that is going to be coming next week. They have a small patch coming on August 13th, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. So you can convert that over so you can see when that's going to come alive in your region. But there's not too much to this first coming patch. I think this patch is going to be a hot fix. They haven't told us everything about it. My wife tries to stop me playing, John says. Why is that? You're having too much fun? You can't be having too much fun in PAX Day, John. Come on. But there's not really too much to this August 13 patch. It's a smaller patch. I think it's to hold us over until we get the big content coming. Spoiler alert, sometime in the fall, sometime in autumn. We don't know if it's going to be the beginning of autumn, the end of autumn. It's a pretty big span, but hopefully it comes at the beginning or the middle, not the end, hopefully sooner rather than later. But I want the content to have enough time to cook. It needs to have enough time to cook because you don't want to get half-baked content, right? You don't want something to come out and be half-baked, be all buggy. I hope they give it enough time to cook. That also being said, I hope they don't wait forever because the sooner they get it into our hands, the sooner we can find the issues. I think when big content patches come out, it's going to be like every other game where it's going to have its bugs. People are going to find those bugs. Make sure you guys are using F8. Get those reports in. Even if it's something that even if it's something that you guys like the stamina bug when you cross borders, make sure you report it because that's not an intended feature. We have to get that stuff fixed so the game can get to a point where it is polished, right? We can't just hope that they leave the bugs that we're abusing during early access in order to give us advantage in the future. It's all going to get wiped in the end eventually, so it doesn't really matter. We're here to test stuff, have fun, build community, because that's what we're all about. We're all about building community over on the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord and just having fun with it while we help develop the game. We're giving our feedback. We're using F8. We're getting stuff reported. I do a lot of F8 reports off camera because you guys don't need to see me report. Some stuff I'll report right then and there, but you guys don't need to see me sit there and F8 report 30 things all at once. Victor says, when is the new content released? They've given us a window, and we're going to get into that a little bit more here. They've given us a window. We do know that there's going to be a small patch coming next week, August 13th, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. And while they won't release the full patch notes, we've listed a few points below. The full patch notes will be published on August 13th when the maintenance starts. So stay tuned. We'll probably do another PaxCast on the 13th to talk about all the stuff that we're getting currently. Hopefully there's more than what they have listed here, because what they have listed here is, it's not that much. It's some quality of life stuff. We'll just get right into that. Signs no longer will be examinable. You'll be able to get into your chests a little bit easier. When you look at your chest, you won't see the press G to inspect on your signs. So that will be a little quality of life help there. They fixed an issue that would cause incorrect behavior when casting Mesmerize on leashing enemies. This could mean any number of things, but the good news is it's going to have some interaction with leashed enemies and Mesmerize. So the more things they can fix there, the better. There's a couple of little bugs with being able to pull things different and whatnot. So hopefully they get that dialed in, get that AI sorted out. Fixed an issue where corpses could spawn in the air and become unrecoverable. That's a big issue for people because everything in the game right now is kind of hard to earn for smaller clans or individual players. And if you just lose all your stuff, you're going to put it down for a while. You're going to be that's going to be frustrating because getting steel and earning all these high end things for smaller clans is it's a big task. So hopefully this will help alleviate some of that frustration. They fixed an issue where bears could become unresponsive when entering water. I've never really noticed that. I noticed that some mobs can become unresponsive at any given time. I have noticed that even not bears can get other animals and other creatures can become unresponsive in water. So hopefully this makes it to where you can't cheese animals as much. The biggest thing that I notice currently is that people are abusing. They're using these exploits to be able to further themselves in the game and be able to test stuff that they normally would not. It would take way longer or be much harder to accomplish, such as killing bears and wild animals. They'll chop down trees and stuff, but those are all getting fixed like pretty rapidly. Hawk says playing solo is tough. Yeah, playing solo is, I think, intended to be tough, not impossible. And one of the points down below is going to alleviate that quite a bit, I think. So that's what's coming in the next week's patch. We don't know what else is going to be coming in there, but hopefully some more content. We're going to get right into the juicy bits here, and we're going to be getting Raz's opinion on some of this stuff. I'm going to give you my opinion on some of this stuff, and I want you guys to sound off in chat. I want to hear your opinions on these topics. We're going to spend a little bit of time on each of these, but let's get started. They said things that they're working on right now. We're working on both new content and features, some big, some small. We have a plan to make a bigger game update during the autumn. So they're telling us right there, it's coming in the fall, guys. That's when we're getting big content. I would have thought it would have been a little sooner than that, but I think this patch is going to be a much larger scope than I originally anticipated. I thought that the first content patch, because they told us the first content patch is going to include the economy. We knew that. I thought it was just basically going to be the economy and maybe some other small stuff. It sounds like there could be some pretty big, huge, substantial things in this patch. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to talk more about it and get your guys' opinions on some of this stuff as well as Raz's. But the first thing that they're talking about here is the combat system. They do say, though, they cannot say with 100% certainty what's going to be in this update. These are just some things that they're currently working on. It doesn't mean that all of these things are going to be in this first big, huge content update. It just means this is what they're currently working on, and these are the categories. The first category is combat system. The combat system is in an okay space, and they've said this before that it's serviceable. It works to an extent. It allows you to actually kill stuff, it allows you to progress, but it's nothing super flashy or crazy. They want a lot more features. They've talked about like dodges, they've talked about other things that other systems that will make the combat a much more enjoyable experience. They say here in our next big content drop, there will be some improvements and changes. In particular, we want to improve the feel of you being in control of the situation. What I hear there is crowd control. I hear crowd control and I hear authority over your character's movements. Not just going in, left click, left click, left click, spam, spam, spam. What, does it die? Does it not? You have only 2 abilities you can activate right now. So when I hear that, control the situation, I think crowd control. I think authority over who you're mesmerizing. We already have mesmerize and pacify, right? But I think we're going to be getting some more abilities hopefully soon, or some more spells. We do know that there's a bunch more magic stuff that's hopefully coming soon as well. We showed it off in our last PaxCast. We showed off like rings and magic items of higher tier than we have now. So we know there's a bunch more stuff out there. But being able to have more control over the situation is always a good thing. And they're going to add some interesting tactics. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Interesting tactics could be any number of things. We can theory craft on that. Let me know what you guys think in chat, what that could be. So in addition to improving responsiveness and controls, we're focusing on enemy behavior. I think that the AI behind the enemies honestly needs more work than the combat on our end. The enemies are very jittery. They jettison past you. I have some shorts showing off them flying past you as well. So there's some weird interactions there. Maven, welcome into chat. Hope you're doing good. We are just getting into the first bullet point. You're just in time. We're talking about the combat system of the upcoming autumn update. So Raz, you have done a lot of combat in the game, way more than I have. I've done my fair share of combat, but you have done above and beyond when it comes to farming things, soloing content, group content, group PvE and PvP content. You have seen just about everything that the combat system has to offer. And that's why I'm really glad that you're here today. Everyone, give a big welcome to Raz. This is his debut, his first PaxCast ever. I want to know your opinion, Raz, on what other types of crowd control, because they say control over the situation, and I'm thinking crowd control. What other types of crowd control do you think could be coming to PAX Day?
Well, what it says right here, it talks about being in control of the situation and add interesting tactics. Who has used blocking before? I'm sure everyone at one point has used a block. Every
Right.
now and then, when an enemy actually hits you, it staggers itself, right, by smacking you. I feel like it might be a hint if you're using a great maul, a great axe, and you just do your 3-hit combo, your third combo hit could potentially stagger them. Gives
Oh,
you an
okay.
opening, something like that. Because if it's
That's a
talking
great
about
idea.
control, you you want to be in control. And if you got a guy coming at you, say, let's just use an example like a badger or a growler. It's a wolf. It doesn't have any means of protecting itself other than biting at you. You smack it with a big axe, it's gonna want to recoil. That's
Right.
the thing.
Yeah, that's a very
Hopefully,
good
that's something they
point.
bring in.
I didn't really even think about that. Having a combo system that's just baked into your attacks. A lot of ARPGs do that, where it's like 1-2 special hit, 1-2 or one
Mhm.
two three special hit. That's a really good point. Actually, we do have some on hit procs for like stuns and fire and stuff like that. But having a system in place where, depending on what weapon you're using, your every third or fourth or fifth hit will do something different. Or what even about, like, they could also do, if you're blocking with a certain type of weapon, it does something different as well. I don't know exactly what they're going to do there, but those tactics, I really look forward to seeing what that could be. We got in
I've
chat saying
seen
your
also.
block is level 32. I think mine might be pretty high as well. Early on, I didn't do a lot of blocking, but it's actually a very good tactic for group play. If you guys have seen my streams before, I tend to do a lot of the tanking. I'll go and pull them. We'll pull the mob all the way back into the group. The group will close around it. I'll be standing there blocking. I'll shield bash to stun them, and then we just murk the thing. You did the coyote trick. Oh, get the coyotes to just attack you over and over again to get your shield block up. The shields need higher durability. They really do, because it's insane to have a steel buckler just get absolutely destroyed by a rabbit. Not a rabbit. Rabbits don't really attack you, but like a fox or something, or a badger. It's just kind of weird. Gifford says, I hope they add critical hits, like if you're using a bow and get a headshot. Yeah, I think that crit strikes will hopefully be a thing. I'm a fan of physics-based combat systems, like Dark and Darker. It has a really cool physics-based combat system. I'm not saying that it needs to go to that extent, but Gifford, I definitely agree with you. I think that bows will be much more vibe. Bows seem to be just kind of for hunting right now. They are kind of the meta for PvP as well, from what I've seen. But I think that they need a special attack. I think they need to add some more variety to the types of bows. And I think that having crit shots and skill shots will be a thing eventually. I hope so. My bow skill is 41. Oh, you maxed it out. Nice. So yeah, we know we're going to be getting some new tactics, hopefully some more crowd control. They say, so in addition to improving the responsiveness of the controls, so they have already improved the responsiveness of the controls for combat. Coming from the alpha into this early access, it's kind of like night and day. It was extremely delayed, slow, and clunky in alpha. So even just from there to now was a very big improvement. And I think that if they can dial that in even more, because one of the best things about World of Warcraft, I always refer to other games that I played, I pull information from those. The responsiveness of the engine is what feels so good. So if they can get some more responsiveness on the combat, give you a little more authority over your character's movements, I think that's going to be very good going forward. And focusing on enemy behaviors, I'm trying to think of what types of implementations they can do to the enemy AI that will be an improvement. And I'm thinking maybe they could have, so they already have a thing where casters, they'll stand in the back, they'll do a couple things, and then they'll run up to you. So I'm trying to think of what else they can do tactics wise. They could have units try to flank you. They could give AI to the animals a little better, make the wolves circle you, or have a howl where they call for reinforcements. There's all kinds of things that they could do. And again, this is theorycraft. I'm not saying this stuff's coming in the next big content patch in autumn. I'm just saying, based on what they're saying, these could be things that we could potentially see in the future. So Raz, do you have any other thoughts about the combat system with this next big upcoming content patch in terms of tactics or enemy AI or anything like that?
Actually, yeah, they even state right here. So, in addition to improving the responsiveness and controls, one of my biggest pet peeves is if I'm in the middle of doing like a 3-hit combo and I know that whatever I'm attacking is about to hit me back, and it's basically a
Yes.
gamble if I'm going to do enough damage. I would like to be able to cancel my attack and immediately put the shield up and give
Yes.
myself a saving throw. Like
Yep.
if
I
that's
agree.
coming, my God, that's gonna be crucial.
I agree 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. I do think, however, that lifting your shield should have some level of delay because shields are heavy. You're going to be tired from combat. It should not be. I don't agree with instant animations. I think that some of these animations are good to have. I think they need to add one where when you switch weapons in combat, you have to do an animation where you'll put it away and pull out the new one. I don't think it should just be able to switch, and they need to share cooldowns for special attacks, I think, because that can kind of be cheesy as well there. But I agree with you 100%. I think if you're in mid swing and you're about to hit and you see them go to bite you or go to do something, you should be able to raise your shield, because that could be very helpful for casters. If they go to cast like another poison bolt, you could block that thing and prevent a whole lot of poison for the entire group.
100% agreed.
So hopefully, guys, some pretty cool combat stuff coming. If you guys think of anything else about combat while we're further down talking about other things, don't be shy. Speak up. Well, I'm happy to go back and talk about other stuff again. So just make sure you're sounding off in chat there. The next thing they talk about here kind of ties into PvP, or kind of ties into combat a little bit, and it's PvP. We have known for a while now that knights and soldiers are coming, that those are going to be a thing. They're going to be kind of ranks or roles that are independent, potentially independent of the religion system and independent of the clan system. So you don't have to be a part of those larger organizations in order to be a knight or a soldier. From the information that we know, of course. And we do know that they are going to have things called baronies, which will be eventually in the wildlands. That will be kind of like outpost, risk reward, PvP, to be able to get, maybe some more rare materials or get big shipments of materials. We don't know exactly what they're going to entail. We do know that sieging these outposts is going to be a thing. They have stated that in the Heartlands, your builds are protected by the gods. They're deemed too important and too sacred, so your builds will not be being destroyed inside of the Heartlands. But I think out in the Wildlands, where we're going to have these baronies, which will be under the reign of these knights and soldiers, which could potentially, let me paint a picture. We have the Order of the Blood Brothers. We have our church, whatever we call it, something blood or sanguine temple. We have some church, right? Also so we have a religion system that is backed up by the Order of the Blood Brothers, and the churches, we know we're going to have more magic associated with them. We're going to get the grace system, which is another kind of like a mana bar, an energy bar of sorts. You will have a grace bar where you can use it to cast these big spells. We know there's going to be blessings and actual real magic that's going to come from it. You're going to be able to do things like bless a field of crops. We know that we're going to have these knights and soldiers and these baronies. So imagine, if you will, the Order of the Blood Brothers. We have a big headquarters in Tremen, and we have our big city where we have our trade stalls set up, and then we have our church, which we have our main church inside of our headquarters. This can be linked to other churches, our outpost churches, our satellite churches, if you will, and you can quick travel between them. We do know that that's going to be a thing. And we have our baronies out in the wilderness. Maybe Raz is one of these knights, and he has his soldiers underneath him. He has a squad of people who are tasked from the Order of the Blood Brothers with protecting this barony. He can call for reinforcements. He can do all kinds of stuff. He has the authority over this barony, and that barony is harvesting steel or rare wood or sigils or whatever it may be. We know these baronies are going to be risk reward for accumulating some form of resource from the information that we've gathered. That could be how it could work in the Order of the Blood Brothers. That's not necessarily the only way it could work, though. What if you're a solo player, a small group, and you're just 2-3 people and you want to have a barony? You don't necessarily even need to be part of a clan. You could just be a party, or you have your own small clan. You can just have a barony out in the woods, I think. That is going to add huge potential to the game. So these knights and soldiers, I don't want to just brush over these, because this is a big deal. We don't know everything that they're going to be able to do, but it's going to be some pretty substantial stuff. PvP will continue to be a system where players opt in through their actions. And I think that this sentence is probably more important than any of them I'm going to read here today. It is opt in through your actions. It's not an opt-in system like World of Warcraft where you turn war mode on. It's more of a, hey, you want to go in the wilderness? That's an action. That's a choice you're choosing to take in the wilderness. There's potentially PvP. You opted in by choosing to go out there. Gifford says, I'm wondering if and when they introduce magic and grace, we will have our first character wipe. I don't know if that would be necessary. Potentially, we don't know when they're going to happen, but they did say they would give us ample notice. So I don't think that there's going to be a wipe for this first content patch, because they would have told us, I think, by now. They said they will give you ample notice. That's not to say next week they don't say, hey, here's your August 13th patch at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, and by the way, the next patch will be a wipe. They could do that, but I feel like they would tell us well in advance if there's going to be a wipe. But that being said, I don't see the magic or grace system requiring a wipe because it's a new system. I think a wipe will come when they need to revamp or retest an existing system, such as leveling up blacksmithing. If they make a bunch of changes to the way crafting works, which there's a note down below, a bullet point that we're going to be talking about there that has to do with crafting. But I think if they are going to do a wipe, it's going to be something like that, where they need to get new data to then be able to compare it to the old data in regards to a system that's been in the game. I don't think it's necessarily going to be, hey, there's this church system now, we're wiping everything. I don't know. Maybe they would wipe the world for that, because you're going to need to be able to actually build a physical church, I would imagine. But we just don't know. Hopefully, I'm okay with a world wipe. I'm okay with any wipe, to be honest. Let's be honest. We're in early access. We need to be able to test this stuff. If they need data, I'll give them the data. We need to get the game into a really good state because I want this. When this game comes out, I want this to be one of the best MMOs ever. I have a lot of hope for this game. But so Knights and Soldiers are coming. PvP is going to be an opt-in through your actions. Things that you do will determine if you are choosing to opt into PvP, such as going to the Lioness Zone to get rare materials. You're choosing to do that. That's a choice. You are willing to have that risk reward. I think they need to add something where they have like PvP weekend where you can go to Lioness and not worry about losing your gear and you can just engage with people and have fun. We're willing to do that. So if you guys would like, if you're on US East, RP, and you want to have fun in PvP together, we are more than willing to not steal. We don't want to take your gear. Hopefully you don't want to take our gear. We just want to go there, get some data, have some fun, find out what works, find out what's OP, what's underpowered, all that good stuff. So reach out to us, join our community Discord, type !Discord in chat, join a Chicky Buggers United Discord and reach out to us. We have a bunch of people on there who are willing to engage with this stuff. Maven says, yes, please join us and test out PvP. We have an event coming up where we're going to be doing some fun stuff with our allied clans. We're a very big clan. We are allied with some other pretty decently sized clans. And we're going to be setting up a thing where we go to the PvP zone and we just have some fun out there and test some different things out. See, oh, I didn't know this interaction happened like that, and all kinds of stuff. How big does the resistances, how big is the difference between the resistances of these different armors and stuff? I plan to move to your server and join. Absolutely, yeah. If you are looking to join up, get your application in sooner rather than later. Type ! Website, get a link over to there, submit your application, get vetted on the Discord, get all established. Even though the server's full, eventually it won't be. Eventually it's going to get taken care of. Get over there, get your application, and we'll get you taken care of as soon as possible. We do get backlogged, and I know I don't want you to wait until they do the plot wipe clean to where you're able to get on our server, because at that point we're probably going to get a huge influx of new players trying to join. So if you get that in early, you'll be able to get ahead of the curve and you'll already be established and ready to go. But yeah, back to the PvP system. Your actions are going to be what determines if you're choosing to take part in PvP. And they've said before, they're not going to be locking any content behind PvP. It just could potentially take you longer or be harder or more arduous travel to get to the point that you want to get to if you're not choosing to do the risk reward, the high risk, high reward path. So it's not like you can't get steel if you don't PvP. You just get less of it, or there's less nodes, or it's just harder to come by. They also say that these changes will bring PvP to the world areas outside of Lioness. We'll tell you more when this gets closer to release. They're talking about the wilderness. I'm gonna go on record and say they're talking about the wilderness. They've talked about it before. PvP is coming to the wilderness. I don't know to what extent. Do you have to actually be at war with another clan in order to be PvP enabled out there? Do you have to have is there some criteria that must be met? We don't really know. But it is going to be coming to the wilderness. So that being said, Raz, what is your opinion on the whole opt into PvP? Do you like being able to opt into PvP? You can also talk about the Knight and Soldiers and stuff too, but how do you feel about it being a opt-in system? Me personally, I like the opt-ins. I like the opt-in system because it gives people who just want to be homebodies and not part of a big clan the option to just walk around, roam around, be a wild traveler. And it makes sense. In medieval times, you're not going to go into these super dangerous areas where there's known to be bandits if you're a traveler, a trader, if you don't have proper protection. So it is that risk reward. But what are your thoughts on that whole opt-in system?
I like it. It's your choice. It gives us the power of, do I want to do this or I don't want to do this? Do I want to make the risk? Do I don't want to take the risk? It's completely in the player's hands, and they have the control to do so. I do want to point out that the developers did say this back in the official PAX Day Discord. They said that our philosophy has always been against making PvP mandatory.
Exactly.
If the only way to get pure iron was through PvP, it would run contrary to our vision and block off key gear for essentially every part of the game through mandatory PvP in some form. And I think that's great. You know, not everybody wants to be all about PvP. Not everyone wants to do that. Sometimes PvE is more than enough. Like me, right. I come from Escape from Tarkov. I tried my best to avoid PvP at any given time because I liked my gear. I didn't
Yeah,
want someone shooting me and taking all my stuff. And
right.
likewise, if I see someone and I have the opportunity to do that, I'm not going to take the shot unless I was in an area that I know I cannot avoid PvP.
And that's
You
what's
know,
interesting too, is it ties into the fact that we are on an RP server. And I've always said this, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that PvP on an RP server should be handled differently. It should not just be
hmm
KOS. That being said,
I
it's hard to enforce that
I agree. I
because
100% agree with
I
that.
can't force someone to walk up to me and be like, I declare war on thee. Like you just can't. You can't impose your RP on other people, and you can't force other people to accommodate your RP, which is it's unfortunate, but it is a fact, because we play on an RP server. I would like to see hostile actions shown. Like I played a game called what was the name of it? It was hold on, I got the launcher right here. Let me pull it up. It is Path of Titans. It's a dinosaur game where you do all kinds
Mm,
of goofy dinosaur stuff, and we had rules on our server where you were not supposed to just be a carnivore and run up to people and just start ripping them apart. You had to show hostility because that's nature, right? You have to show hostility. A wolf will bare its teeth before it attacks. It will circle you. You know an attack is coming. And I feel like in now that's not to say humans are a little different. We have surprise attacks. There are ambush predators out there, but I like to see when there is some semblance of RP behind the PvP and it's not just a I'm out here killing everybody because we could just go in there. We have the manpower to just go in there and kill every single person. We could guard all the gates, do all the sneaking, just be that asshole. But I don't like that whole mentality of doing it that way. So I think that RP PvP should be handled a little bit different. But again, that's going to be up to the players. One more thing on this too. What are your thoughts on how the knight and soldier system are going to work? So I've talked a little bit about how it could work in our clan. Do you think I'm pretty spot on with that? Do you have any other thoughts on how the knight system and the barony system could function?
I think you are spot on. My only thing that I'm curious about is it only for knights and soldiers that can be in PvP? Say for example, someone is PvE driven. They've been playing for X amount of time. They've become a potato farmer. They're doing their thing, right? Oh no, now we're being attacked. Could said potato farmer take up arms and join the knights and soldiers and be like, I'm here to protect my land too?
I want to
What if
say
that's
yeah because it's just a role, right? Because they say that these are roles. They
Mhm.
specifically referred to them before as the knight and soldier role. So that's not to say that I guess I could just have everybody. That's what I'm really worried about with the whole naming scheme because is it going to be referred to only as a knight and soldier, or can I have it be
right?
like my outpost guard or something? Like, can I rename these things? It's the same with the religion system. Are these things set in stone where you are going to be called the Pope? Like, what if we don't want to be called the Pope? What if we want to be called like the Cardinal Arbiter of Magic or something? Like what is the extent in which we can rename these things? That is another concern that I had. But I think that talking about what you were going off of, I'm pretty sure the farmer will be able to engage in PvP because again, it's that choice, right? Can he
Yep.
just knight himself if he's in his own clan? Sure, why not? I don't know if it's going to be like only knights can fight other knights or soldiers out there, and regular people are. If you don't have a stake in the claim of having an outpost out there, maybe you can't PvP. That would seem a little jarring and confusing. I think it's going to be if you're out there, PvP is enabled, but I could be wrong. It could go the path of if you're not a knight or a soldier, you have no stake in the game, you aren't required to PvP. I don't know, but they did say it's an action that will be it's your actions that will be engaging you in PvP, not like toggling something. So I'm not too sure. That's what leads me to think that it's going to be if you're out there, you can be PvP.
Yeah. That's really my only concern because, like you said, it shouldn't be an off on or off switch. Because then I can guarantee you that's going to be abused. It's going to be abused to all Kingdom Come. Like,
Yeah,
oh
people
yeah,
will
you can fight me out in the wilderness, but I'm back to a potato farm. Can't touch me now. Haha. Like,
right.
nah.
And I do think that we need some level of PvP in the Heartlands as well. I don't think destroying bases and stuff or camping outside someone's house should be allowable. I don't know how you regulate that, but there are times when certain things need to happen in the Heartlands, especially with the way the plot system is. Like we took down that wall of the North. We have defeated the tyrants of the North who were trying to build wall around resources. You just don't know who's going to do what. And I think being able to actually enforce certain things, but that's the thing. We're the good guys. What if we were the bad guys? Then you could enforce bad things on people and have a tyrannical zone. But I think that should be able to be a thing. If you know that, like, oh, Dolavan is known for this giant clan who's very oppressive, and if you go there, they'll kill you and take all your stuff, and they make you pay tolls to travel. I think that should be a thing. I think that zones should be able to be known for being, these bad things, or at least certain areas or hot zones of this. It's going to make the game
I
feel
agree.
alive.
Absolutely.
But
That
they
should
do
be a thing.
say that they're going to tell us more as we get closer to release. So let us know what you guys think about PvP and how that's going to tie in with the Knight and Soldier system and the combat system. Let us know in chat how you guys feel about all of that. If you're going to be engaging in PvP, if you're going to be avoiding PvP, let us know. In the Order of the Blood Brothers, to give you guys a little insight, we have a very vast clan. We have a bunch of people who are very adamant about PvPing, and that is our bloodhounds. We have some rituals and stuff that we do, some ceremonies where when you join, you take the blood oath. If you break that blood oath by being disloyal, you're put on the blood list. Every person who joins the Order of the Blood Brothers, you are a free person coming here on your own free will. It is your choice to join, and you have no reservations about joining. No one is made to serve. We do not have royalty. I'm not a king. I'm just a grand marshal. I'm the leader of the overall clan, but I'm also the leader of the military branch, where we'll eventually have a council, which will make up all three of our branches. Their higher ups will be able to have council meetings and things like that. But we don't have a king or anything like that. We don't have servants. So these systems are going to be very interesting to see how they intertwine with our community, because we have people who are adamant about PvPing. We have people who are going to be homebodies. We have people who are going to just want to be crafting or gathering stuff, everything in between. But the nice thing is we can all work together to accomplish whatever it is we need to accomplish. So we'll be able to have baronies because we will have people who are wanting to do that. We'll be able to have tons of resources and stuff gathered in the Heartlands because we have people who will want to be doing that, craftsmen and all that good stuff. It's so great to have a clan that supports each other so much. Darth says, I'll run out with Raz, hold out my hand and wait for what? Battles. Mjolnir? Battles so far suggest we may be waiting a while. Victor says, I think the fear and all the emotions you have when you know you can lose your stuff is what makes the game great. I agree, but I also disagree. I think that, picture this. Let me paint you a picture. I love painting pictures for you guys. If you're a small clan of like 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, you have busted your ass to trade for steel because you cannot get enough of it on your own because the PvP is locked down. If you so much as step out of line and enter a PvP-ish area and you get struck down and you lose that steel, that's going to have costed you exponential amounts. I just don't want people to be sent back to the Stone Age. I don't want smaller clans. Yeah, it's risk reward. Yeah, be more careful, avoid it more carefully. I want there to be some semblance of fear, but it's got to be a fine line. Like with everything in this game, it's a very fine line between too much and too little. They're going to have to dial that in. I want people to be scared of acting a fool in Bloodhaven. I don't want them to come there and break RP and have no consequences and be able to just, do goofy stuff or be mean or try to bandit people or try to harass people. We should be able to enforce that stuff in our own town at least, or in our zone. So I want there to be some level of fear there, but I also don't want it to be, it's that fine line. I don't want it to be where a small clan can make one mistake and lose all of their good gear that they, farmed 2 weeks to get enough gold to be able to purchase it from a larger clan who has a master blacksmith, because the stuff's going to be expensive. It's countless amounts of hours to make these things, even just to get your crafting up, and it's only going to get harder. So I know I'm on the fence about losing all your stuff. It's just, I definitely know it's a game, but again, you're playing a game to have fun. And if you lose all of your stuff, that's not, I get it. You can lose too, but you see what I'm saying though? There's that fine line between I spent 2 weeks getting enough gold to make this gear, and now I made a mistake and I died and lost all my stuff, you're not going to play the game anymore. You're going to be sent back to the Stone Age. That's why I think if you could destroy people's bases fully and send them all the way back to the Stone Age, they're not going to play the game. The game is going to have a very limited crowd then, and that's not going to be good for it in the future. So I think there needs to be a fine line of there needs to be a clear-cut thing of what is engaging in PvP, what can potentially lose all of your stuff, so that way people who don't want to engage in it can avoid it. Hawk says, I'm heading out today to get my first pure iron. Hey, good luck, man. I haven't really seen too many people out in PvP, so I think you'll be fine. There's a lot of cheesy stuff people can do out there, too, to avoid it. Yeah, says, lose the stuff in the bag, but not the stuff in your hotbar. I would put my steel on my hotbar, and then I've just mined it. Yeah, I mean, that's a way to go about it, too. Like, V Rising did it where you have Bloodbound gear, or the potential for Bloodbound gear. It's set by the server. This being an MMO, you don't really have that choice, but I don't think PAX Day will ever have private servers. It's an MMO for a reason. It's going to be online all the time. That being said, if there were private servers, you could literally just have a setting where you could toggle it then. I think that would accommodate all communities. But all I'm saying is I want there to be risk reward, absolutely. I just think that it needs to be balanced to the point where you can't send small clans back to the Stone Age against their will, first of all, and with them just making a basic mistake. Because if you can send people back to the Stone Age very easily and they lose all that stuff because I have a large clan, I can get whatever we need for anybody that we want to get it for relatively easy. No issues there at all. If we all lost all of our gear, we'd have it back tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal for us. But for smaller clans or single solo players where they take pride in their armor was something that was a great undertaking for them to acquire. For them to just lose everything, they're not going to want to play the game. So it is a game. I fully understand that, but I think people should be able to have fun in the game as well and not have such a massive level of anxiety if, oh my gosh, if I go here, I'm going to lose everything. Like, there should be some zones that are like that, but there should also be zones that aren't. That's all I'm saying. I'm in a clan of 2. It takes a long time. Yeah, absolutely. And that's my point. I want it to be a game where everybody can have fun doing certain things that they want to do. If they don't want the risk reward, you're not going to lose your gear because there's, unless you die to PvE, but you can get it back from PvE. That's all I'm saying about that. But yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts on the combat system or PvP or anything like that, sound off in chat. We're going to move on to the next point here, which is social features. They start off, this is kind of strange. They start off saying, while we can't go into too much detail right now, we can say that changes to the chat system are coming. EOTB, great to see you again. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome in to the stream. They say Strife is and must be a part of an MMO, but as you know, that recovery must be balanced. Else play a hardcore game when you die, your character is dead. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. It's that balance, right? I just want things to be balanced. I want there to be something for everybody so that everybody can enjoy this. If you want to just be a humble farmer, I don't think a knight should be able to come up, slit your throat on the site, and just be a bad guy or a bandit and steal all your crops in the heartlands, So I think that risk reward is going to be key to get that balance. John says, it would be nice if you had a set of armor you are wearing, you automatically have the same secondary set in a chest in your house. It would be nice if you had a set of armor you were wearing, you automatically have the same set in a chest at your house. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, John? Hawk says, yes, to get where I'm playing solo has taken many hours. Yeah, solo play is very, very hard. And that's why I love the community around PAX Day, and I love building the community around PAX Day because we have so many great people. Even people who aren't in our clan, you can join our Discord and you can use our bounty board. You can put out a quest where you can request people to help you with certain missions. Like if you want to go into a dungeon, you can request or offer things for trade. Our bounty board is kind of a pseudo trading system currently.
You can hire me for tattered sigils.
Exactly. Raz has been kind of doing, once we get down more to the marketplace point that we're going to be talking about here, that's on the update sheet. Raz has been going out and doing missions for people pretty much day one because he's been soloing POIs and helping them go through dungeons and stuff, putting together small groups. It's like, so we're going to have a mercenary guild within the Order of the Blood Brothers clan. We're going to have a traders guild within the Order of the Blood Brothers clan. And we're going to have certain people with certain titles and roles and ranks who will have authority over those things. And Raz will be running like a mercenary thing, most likely, where you can come in town, request assistance, and he has his people that we go out and do stuff with that will go out and help you do these missions, do these quests. Hopefully we get an actual bounty board in game. We've talked about that yesterday on stream as well. I would love to see an actual physical bounty board where I can put up quests or things like that in town. But they talk about social features and they say that they can't get into it too much detail right now, which I'm not sure why. It's like you literally can, you're the developers. You can tell us what's coming. But they always say things like that sometimes where they're like, we can't go into too much detail. We can't say with 100% certain. It's like they don't want to back themselves into a corner, which I completely understand. But they're being pretty vague about the social features. They go on to say, along with a friends list and other nice additions are going to be coming. So a friends list, I'm really looking forward to that because you can have people who you interact with who aren't necessarily in your clan who you may potentially be able to give permissions to your private plots. Maybe you have an outpost that is private that's not really necessarily part of the clan that you're sharing with family or friends. You have like, you're in my clan, you're in the Order of the Blood Brothers, but you have a plot that's out in the woods that you just use for, I don't know, your kids to play on or your wife or your friend to be able to come out and play on, and you can share permissions with them on there, and having a friend system will help facilitate that, I think. And other nice additions, who knows what else they could add, but they say these enhancements are designed to make your in-game communications more enjoyable. Stay tuned and get ready to experience a new level of connectivity in PAX Day. That's an open-ended and loaded question, loaded statement, I think. That could mean so many different things. Hawk says, once game is optimized better, I'll come back to your server. All right, Hawk, sounds good, man. Everyone is always welcome. I know that, big builds and stuff, especially down in Dolovan to the south of us, it can get, we've had people come up to Tremin because Dolovan is so laggy down there. And I think there's something more to be said about that. There's something going on there. But I'm looking forward to these social features. There's not really too much to say about them other than friends list, chat, having different chat channels, having different, maybe you can create chat channels as opposed to just the ones that get created for you for a party and clan and stuff. Hopefully we get some more rich social features there, but the friend system is going to be really, really nice to have a friends list of people. Maybe you can put notes so you can keep alts straight and all of that good stuff like you can in World of Warcraft. That'll be really good. But yeah, do you have anything? I don't know. There's not really too much on the social features, but do you have anything to add on the social features, Raz?
Well, I mean, you already mentioned me beforehand, like I'm a solar player for the most part, right? I think having a friends list is going to be crucial in that endeavor too. Say, for instance, I'm out and about, random cave, doing my thing. Up, all the NPCs started spawning behind me. Now I'm stuck. Do I take the risk of them potentially killing me and my gear being stuck in this cave and I can't really retrieve it?
Right.
Or I have a friends list and nearby I got a blip showing, hey, this person is over here. I could just whisper a message to them or send a raven and get them to give me a hand or something like that.
Whereas and it should make private messaging easier too. If you go to your friends list and you just see, hey, Raz is on my friends list, but he's not in my clan. I know that he's helped me before with soloing stuff. Maybe I'll send him a message and say, hey, I'm kind of in a pickle. If I give you a gold or something, can you come and help me out here? So it'll make it easier to know who's online, your friends online, because you can just see who's online there, and sending private messages. So those are some pretty good features right there.
And who's to say it's not necessarily just also friends either, right? Say you are in a position where it's a clan on clan dispute, you're both at each other's throats, you're considered enemies. Who's to say that also doesn't put a blip of you're in the wilderness or you're in the wildlands and you got a person from a disputing clan nearby that could potentially harm you in an event that they decide to go PvP.
I think eventually those blips are going to go away because you should not be able to see people anywhere besides the Heartlands. And even if there's going to be PvP in the Heartlands, knights and stuff should not show up on that. Anybody who's engaging in PvP, they removed it. And early on, you used to be able to see people on the map in the Lioness zone. They got rid of that. That's eventually probably going to go away. I would think it would have to.
I see.
Because if you're out in the wilderness and like, oh, Raz is not hostile right now, but I can see he's coming. It just kind of can blow your cover if you're trying to sneak up on someone. I hope that they add some stealth mechanics eventually. I think that'd be really cool. Give some leather gear, get some daggers, got some stealth stuff going on. I think that would be awesome. Yaya says they're going to have marriage available. Are you saying they're going to, or are you asking if they're going to? Because I don't know if that's a confirmed thing or not. And then EOTB says, I'd say that will most likely be player community driven. I mean, yeah, you could technically get married right now. Come on down to our church. We'll marry you. Boom. We have an arbiter of marriage or whatever. Boom. Now you have, it could be an RP thing. Or they may actually make it a system. Maybe if you're actually married, you can open up each other's chests or something. It's like a pseudo permission thing, or maybe it's a permission thing, or maybe it's, it could be any number of things available. Maybe it ties into the religion system and you can like summon each other to each other. Or I don't know. They could do all kinds of different wacky things. Maybe you get a buff when you're next to each other. I don't know, but yeah. Are you saying that that is a confirmed feature? Did the devs actually say that that was going to be a thing? Because I'd be interested to know that. And if so, join our Discord. Send me a link over to that so I can talk more about the marriage system because that would be pretty cool. But yeah, social features. Hopefully, we get some of the stuff that we were talking about there. There's the endless possibilities really that can make our lives easier. Clan Gallows would be good. Hawk says, yeah, I agree 100%. That would be really cool. Crafting is the next topic we're going to be getting into here. They say, we're working on making the crafting system easier to navigate with the addition of the compendium, which allows browsing and unlocking recipes outside of the crafters. As always, we're also looking at balancing recipes and materials along with improving the progression in the crafting professions. I think that crafting is in a pretty okay spot, to be honest. It was, oh yeah, you're saying it was just a thought about marriage? Gotcha. Yeah, it may just be player driven or community driven. It would be nice. I mean, the more systems we get that we can use in game, the better, really. I mean, you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but if it's there, you have the option to. So I think it'd be pretty cool if we had a marriage system in game with gameplay features that go along with it. But crafting, I think, is in a much, much better spot than it was. I think there are still some pitfalls. I think once the marketplace comes online, crafting will be in a much better place because the things that you're crafting can be put up for sale as opposed to just being dropped on the street. But yeah, I think that crafting is not in a terrible place right now. They're going to be balancing recipes and materials and things like that, hopefully ironing out the last few pitfalls there are in the progression. But the progression's all going to change once we get more higher skill levels in the game. Because eventually it'll probably go up to 100 or something, maybe even more skill levels, which is going to mean a much more rich choice of things to craft. I've talked extensively about what I want to see come to the crafting system. I would like to see items that can roll better than each other. So that way you have different reasons to give different things different prices. You can make, oh, this one rolled, this is God tier. I'm going to give it a higher cost in my shop, or any number of things like that would make the crafting that much more fulfilling. But they're going to be adding a compendium which will allow you to browse and unlock recipes outside of the crafters. So I'm not too sure what that's going to look like. But hopefully they let us pin recipes and stuff soon, because they were talking about that for a while as well. I'm not too sure that there's too much more to be said on the crafting. We've talked extensively about crafting before. If you guys in chat have any thoughts or anything about what you'd like to see come for crafting, but all they say is that they're working on making it easier to navigate. So hopefully that means right now when you go into the crafting table, it's just a list of recipes. Hopefully we get categories. Maybe they can be broken up by tier. Maybe it's like, 10 to 20 difficulty is here and you can expand that. Or maybe it's done by, maybe we'll get a filter option where you can show only boots or certain slots. Maybe they can have a thing where you can filter based on material. It would be nice to have things like that to make crafting easier, but I think right now it's not super essential because there's quite a bit of crafting to do, but it's not like the list is too overwhelming to where you can't comprehend it. You can scroll and find what it is you're looking for, but it would be nice to have something where I have this material, maybe you can filter by what you're able to craft with those materials. So different little quality of life things that will make your life easier and make it to where you don't have to use external resources, because I'm not a huge fan of using external resources. I came from Elite Dangerous a long time ago where they had damn near no resources in game to help you know what you needed to do. You had to use external things. You had to use EDDB and all this stuff like this to be able to look up anything, to know how to do anything with engineers and all this stuff. So hopefully we get more systems in game that will help facilitate. I like when games have all the information, all the lore, all the details in the game itself with systems and tools. So hopefully we get some more of those for crafting. Hawk says 50% return on resources. That would be very generous in my opinion. I think 25 would be pretty good. 50 would be very generous, but yeah, getting a return on your resources when you fail something, at least they've made it somewhat better. You have a higher chance of getting return materials and you get trivial experience when you fail. I think that that's important. I would like to see that get fleshed out a little more though. Ryan, how's it going? Welcome into chat. He says, I really like to see XP for crafting be a reward for items that require more complex items, i.e. make swords worth more than spears, so that more incentive to make them. That would be interesting. Otherwise, it's just everyone making spears and gloves. Yeah, I definitely agree that right now people are, but it comes down to like eventually what is going to be marketable. Right now, you're just worrying about getting your skill level up. What is marketable will be a thing when we have an actual market. When you're putting things up for sale, you don't want to have just 10 million pairs of gloves. What are you, a glove merchant? Like all people are going to buy from you is gloves? No, everyone else is selling gloves also. When people are looking for stuff, if you're trying to make money and level up, you're going to be making some other things as well. But I do agree with you, having some variety in there of these different XP rewards. It should almost scale off of the amount of materials and maybe the duration taken to make these things. If a pair of gloves takes one piece of leather, but a tunic takes 6, that should yield more experience. It's more detailed product that you're producing. Yaya says a craftable recycle bin where you drop extra stuff to get the materials back. They have talked about that. I believe that will be coming at some point where they'll have a deconstruction table, or maybe you go to the table and you can filter by deconstructibles and you can take apart and get some of the materials back. That would make sense. And maybe even some experience for deconstructing. So then you can craft a pair of gloves and then take those pair of gloves apart. Make 50 of them, take 50 apart. You're messing with the materials, you should be getting experience for that. Or maybe they have another experience of deconstructing or something, another tier there. Who knows? There's so many different things they could do, right? But Raz, do you have any thoughts on the crafting system at all?
Well, actually, they're going to give people that are crafting a compendium. I want a bestiary.
Yes.
Show me how many wolves I've killed.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
That would be awesome, honestly. I think having like a quest, not a quest log, but like a player statistics. And I'm sure that they have those statistics. They're probably just used for data analysis right now based on, oh, how many times did someone kill this? How many times did people died? What did they die to? All that stuff. I'm sure they have that information. That'd be really cool to have that though. I agree. Hawk says, that's what I was referring to. Oh, okay. Yeah. Maven says, yes, I'd love to see a record book. That would be amazing. We do know that books are going to be a thing. We've talked about that. It's going to be big in the religion system. There's going to be a lot to do with books. So hopefully maybe we can get something like that where you can have stuff marked down. But that is the crafting. If you guys have any other information or anything else you want to talk about in reference to anything, either combat, PvP, social features, or crafting, let us know. We're going to move on to the next point here, which is, I just reloaded my overlay because it was acting a little weird. That's why chat is having a mad one right now. So just ignore that. Building. A lot of people have been spending a ton of time building because in our clan, we're endgame. There's not much more for us to do. So people are messing around with building. They're trying to fill their time with, dungeons, research, database, fleshing out the databases of things, messing around and trying to break stuff, and building. Building is huge. I have seen some awesome builds. We're going to do some upcoming streams where we are just exploring people's builds far and wide. We're going to go on a convoy and bring some gifts to clans in the far reaches of Galia. So it's going to be fun to explore. Maven says one of our members is building a post office system as well. Oh yeah. Gwydion has built the post office. It's pretty awesome. So we have pseudo permissions. If you build a post office that is controlled by someone who's trusted in your clan, It's only really makes sense for big clans, because small clans, you guys are probably all trusted, so you can share stuff. But with being a bigger clan, we're prone to being trolled and whatnot. So we need to make sure we keep our plots all on lockdown and our chests all secured. But we have a post office system where Gwydion has a plot that he has turned into a post office, and he can unlock it for you temporarily. You then place down some chests in there for deposit and withdrawal, and then he relocks the plot. Now that the plot is his and you've placed chests on his plot, you have access to those chests and he has access to those chests. So he can act as essentially a mailman. He can take stuff out of your chest and put it in other people's chests, and then they can come and pick stuff up. So it's a pseudo permission system. It's actually works quite well until we can get an actual permission system, but it's not a replacement for it. It's a workaround, and it's probably not even an intended feature. It's probably just a side effect of the way that the permissions work currently, but it does work nevertheless. So crafting, they say, we're working on building, sorry. Later this year, we'll have an all new extensive set of beams, which are great for creative builds. In addition, I wonder if they're talking about in autumn, because they say later this year. That could mean when the big update comes out, but they're adding in a bunch of new set of beams. Now, we already have quite a few beams, so I'm not too sure if they're talking about maybe different angles. Maybe they're talking about being able to, because the hardest thing and biggest downside to the building right now currently for me is the roofs. I think that those are the most lacking. We're missing some tiles, like some stone walls and stuff, but I'm pretty sure they talk about that a little further in here. So they're adding in a bunch of new beams to the building system. In addition, near the end of the year, we're planning to have an all new building tier for stone houses. So we already have like cobble. They're talking about a whole new tier. So we have like, your mud hut, your thatch and stuff. Then you have your cottage. Then you have your stone. They're talking about a whole new tier of actual stone houses. Maybe they mean like refined stone or something, or bricks, or I don't know what they could actually mean by that, but it's a whole new tier. It's not just some new building tiles in the existing tiers. It's an entire new tier. So let me know what tier you guys think that could be referring to, or how that could work. They also say we're also adding some other minor expansions, like a few new signs. And they say, don't forget to vote on your favorite one. They have a poll going on for new signs. So we'll make sure that we vote in there, but make sure you make your voice heard as well over there. Hawk says concrete. That could be interesting. Megan, how's it going? Welcome in to the stream. Hope you're having a great day today. We're going over the content that's going to be coming in autumn. So they also say here, so the new building tier, go vote on the new signs that you want, and other miscellaneous pieces. More details soon. That seems to be their theme. They always say more details soon. It's like they're edging us on. But what stone tier do you think they could be adding, Raz? Do you think it's like bricks? Do you think it's, because we have like cobblestone right now? What do you think it could be?
It could be anything: brick, concrete, granite, even. I mean, there's choices endless right there. Or even say, I don't know, iron bars, make a jail,
Oh, that'd be cool.
make gates. I think that would be. I think it would make sense around the time of where the game's supposed to take place in. I think that would be fair.
Oh,
mean,
it
we can
could be
only assume.
granite. Yeah, it could be
Can only
granite
guess.
or some other fancy looking stones as well. That's good idea. EOTV says
Sandstone,
granite, collect a few
limestone.
boxes. Working gates would be awesome. Yeah, limestone. So there's any number of things that they could do. But that is the building. There's not too much to be said there. Hopefully we get some more sneak peeks on what these beams are and what these new miscellaneous pieces, maybe the miscellaneous pieces are working gates. Maybe they have like drawbridges or something. That'd be really freaking cool. But we can't really actually manipulate water currently. So you can't like put a moat. So I don't know, drawbridges really wouldn't make too much sense, but it could be a gate that lifts and lowers rather than it just being like over water per se. It could just be a gate where you actually grab the handle, or whatever you call that thing, the little spinny things with the four arms on it, and you crank it and the chain goes click, 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 and your gate opens and closes. They could add those in. That'd be really cool. Darth says 28 to 41 carpentry possibly included in that. Their mineral picture included cobalt, so new materials might be soon. Yeah, I definitely said that there were some hints inside of that materials preview. I don't know exactly what they are going to be. Let me see if I can pull that up actually. Hold on. So that's the board there. Let's see. We got minerals. Here we go. This is what they're referring to right here. Here's the minerals. So we don't know which of these are really which. I have some ideas. Like I see sandstone, I see quartz, I see cobalt, we see copper in there. You see what looks like iron, sulfur, maybe amethysts, maybe ruby, all kinds of different stuff in there. But yeah, they could be talking about building with some of these materials as well. I think sandstone and granite would make the most sense. You could have fancy builds from that stuff, but there's a ton of materials there. Signs. I like the signs. I don't think they're super useful. I think that they have a place. I like them for like things like the post office, but in your own chests, they're not like really signs for you. They're signs for everybody else because you kind of remember where you put stuff normally. I mean, not everybody, some people are actually literally going to be putting signs for themselves as well, obviously, but I think they're a great addition. I look forward to seeing what new signs they're going to be adding as well. Now on to a big point, the marketplace. They don't give us too much information about this other than what we already know. But we do know that marketplaces are going to be an asynchronous transaction table or block of some sort where you can actually put things up for sale. People will be able to come at a later time or later date, see what you have for sale, purchase them. They'll get the item. The money goes into the table, presumably. You return at a later date. You can take the gold from it. It's going to be an asynchronous transaction market. They go on to say you will be able to build a marketplace in your village to sell goods to other players, along with the ability to earn gold from PvE. So these are coming at the same time, right? And they've said this before. Gold is going to be the currency or a currency. We don't know if there might be more. I hope there are more. I hope there's like a silver currency for less expensive things, but gold is going to be the currency and it's going to be earned from PvE. Now that could be killing monsters, looting it, could be any number of things, but it will come from PvE. That's not to say you can't earn it from PvP as well. It's just the generation of it into the world, the inflation, so to speak, is going to be directly tied to PvE. You can steal gold from other players if you kill them or whatever, or if they have gold stored at their barony for whatever reason, you could probably loot that stuff there if you raid them, but it's going to be generated from PvE. You're going to be able to put up these tables. That's what I was talking about in the Order of the Blood Brothers. We're going to have a traders guild within our clan. Somebody will be overseeing all of the market transactions and we'll have a bookkeeper to keep track of all these things. If you have something that you want to put up for sale, you can have your own little market. We'll have different shops for stuff, but we'll have a treasury where we can keep track of all of our assets and things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, role play wise as well. But they say where gold is actually used in the game shall remain a mystery for a bit longer. They love to do this. They love to just edge us on and keep you just enough in the dark to keep your imagination going. And I kind of like it, to be honest. It's World of Warcraft, they put out patch notes. They say you're going to do 1.326% less damage with this attack. And you're going to do, and it's like there's no mystery to it. They data mine it all. The mystery and the excitement, as long as it's eventually backed up by real tangible in-game systems, is a lot of fun. It allows us to theory craft and have fun as a community, right? We can talk about all these different things that we want, what we want that to mean, without actually knowing what it does mean. But this eludes that gold is going to be used for more than just these tables. Because they say where gold is actually used in the game shall remain a mystery for a bit longer. Now, we know for sure it's going to be used in buying stuff, right? It's going to be the currency, but what else could it be used for? Let me know in chat what you think gold could be used for other than just buying stuff from people. And Raz, do you have any ideas on what they could even mean by that?
I mean, this is all speculation. This is all theory craft, right? Say, I'm sure some people have seen those POIs where there's like coffins or even the Stonehenges and stuff like that, or the churches that are like completely empty. Say you have a ton of gold. You have a good large leather pouch full of gold. You go to the coffins, you sprinkle some of your gold in there. You drop, I don't know, 1,000 gold. Now what you just did is you summoned 5, 20, 30, 50 Zebians on somebody's barony's plot. in the
Huh.
PvP area. Something like that. That would be useful.
That'd be pretty interesting. I don't know if
Say you don't
you would think that it
you
would
don't
be fueled by some type of magic rather than just gold offering, but they could tie it in some way until we get more fleshed out lore. That's an interesting
mhm.
idea, though.
Like say you have a 5-man clan. You're not going to be able to contend against a 200 clan baronies in the wildlands. You already know that you can't win. You guys are wearing leather.
You
They
don't have to
have
stack the
plague.
odds in your favor.
You got to stack them to your favor. Pay for demon worshippers. There you go. Drop it in the
That-
Stonehenge. Drop it in the coffin bin. Now you got people to help you out.
That'd be pretty interesting. Hawk says tax. We're not going to have taxes in the Order of the Blood Brothers. Everybody who joins us is a free person. We may pool resources together to pay for certain things if there is like an upkeep cost. Then I'm not charging the tax, but we need to like come together as a clan to be able to take care of that stuff. But we're a free people here, so we don't have taxes. I know other people are going to have taxes for sure. And then Hawk also says maybe to buy knighthood. But again, that comes back to the economy. They're alluding here that it's going to be used for something else outside of the economy because it literally reads as you'll be able to build a marketplace in your village to sell goods to other players. That's where gold will be used, along with the ability to earn gold from PvE. That's where we'll be obtaining it. Where gold is actually used in the game shall remain a mystery for a bit longer. So it's so open ended, right? But purchasing a knight, like coming to Raz and being like, Raz, give you 5,000 gold, smack it on the counter. I need your help. And he's like, no, it's not enough. No, he takes it and then he goes and helps you. That's a transaction that's like, an economy. They're making it sound like it could be used for something else. I think there will be some form of gameplay mechanic. I don't know if it's going to be exactly what Raz said or not, but something along those lines where it's a gameplay mechanic where you make an offering to a god or something at one of these temples, or maybe with the church or something. I have no idea. Maybe tithing at a church could be a thing, and you need to it's a gold sink, right? Because games need their gold sinks just like they need their resource degradation in order to keep the flow moving. Your gear eventually breaks, you have to make new. Maybe you have tithing where the church sacrifices this gold and it allows them to then teleport, or you fill up your grace meter or something. I have no idea, but some gameplay mechanic I'm almost certain will be tied to the gold as well as the marketplace.
Mhm.
So let me know what you guys think in chat about what else this could potentially be used for. They go on the next bullet point here. And if you guys want to talk about any of the other stuff that we talked about previously as well, let us know. But they go on to talk about now the soloable PvE content, which is kind of hilarious because we have Raz in the chat right now. We got Raz here on stream, who is like the solo master. He will go to these above ground POIs and he will just take out everything there single handedly. He goes into dungeons by himself pretty much. It's crazy the stuff that he does. Hawk says to build a church will cost a lot of gold. Will it cost gold to build the church? Maybe you're onto something there. Maybe to like advertise for your church or make your clan be posted or put stuff on bounty boards. That could be the system in game that consumes that gold. But like to build things, are the churches only out maybe baronies, maybe in order to buy land in the barony? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what it could mean. But wouldn't you just actually physically build the church? Why would it cost you gold? Unless you're buying the materials from someone else. Darth says when baronies and kingdoms and churches are added, it could be taxes, tithes, and wages. Oh, wages could be a thing. You could be onto something there. Maybe they have, if you're a knight under this barony, every so often the gold that is in the guild's coffers in the treasury will be, you get like 10 gold a week or 10 gold a day or something. And that would be really interesting, actually. I think that'd be really cool to see. But they talk about soloable PvE content. We're adding a series of PvE sites to the world with a focus on a fun experience when soloing PvE. It's hilarious to me because this is literally what Raz does. And these sites that are currently out there aren't even designed to be soloable. They're talking about adding in stuff for smaller clans or solo people to be able to go to these POIs, not necessarily dungeons, but these other POIs that will be more manageable. Hawk says churches always love gold. That's exactly right. So they're talking about adding in these smaller POIs that people can take out. Maybe they mean it like lower levels and stuff, because that can be quite the challenge. Which allows you to earn gold and buy kit from other players. We're hoping it will improve the game for those who want to craft a bit less and fight a bit more. So they're talking about what they're talking about here is giving an avenue of gameplay to solo or small groups of people who want to be able to earn gold to then be able to focus on combat, and maybe they don't want to craft anything. Maybe they don't even want to be a landowner and they just want to be a traveling for hire mercenary. You can go to these zones, get the gold so that you can buy the things you need in order to be that mercenary and focus on combat. I think that's their main focus with this soloable PvE content. EOTB says community popes will be gold tithing and rich from devotion. Yeah, I think churches will have something to do with gold, but I think that should be player driven as well. I think you should be able to set up, like, if my church doesn't want to have tithing, I don't think we should be forced to. I think we should be able to provide stuff for people without it requiring money. Hawk says bandits. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to be like a bandit per se, you can go to these places, get the gold, go to town, buy the stuff you need, and now you can go and be a bandit. You don't have to focus on crafting and stuff. But yeah, Raz, I mean, you've been soloing content for since the beginning of the game, pretty much. Not out of necessity. Obviously, you have a big clan behind you where we can go and do this stuff, but you can just go off on your own whenever you feel like it to do these things. What do you think that these new POIs are going to look like? Because the current ones early on were a challenge and you had to be very careful, but now they're kind of like trivial. What do you think? Do you think these are just for lower tiers, like smaller POIs, not just the big marked ones? Maybe they won't even be marked. Maybe they're little hidden POIs or something. What do you think those are going to look like?
Well, in the game, there's already smaller POIs that aren't mapped or that are not marked in the map at all. Like, I've seen windmills, I've seen boats in the forests, I've seen small ruined walls of what
Right.
used to be a house. I've seen carts even, right? Those could be small POIs potentially. What if it's a POI of I don't know, a wolf den? Not necessarily a big cave, but a wolf den, or a
Yeah.
bulging pustule that's just spitting out Zebians or something like that. It could
I
be
would like these to be
anything.
dynamic. I know that they're not going to be dynamic, but I would love for them to be dynamic. Where, like, if you kill
Mhm.
a big bear in the woods and his carcass is there and you took the things you needed off him, like wolves and scavengers will eventually come and start to circle around it, and boom, you have a smaller POI for combat and stuff. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Right?
Um, there's so many possibilities there.
My favorite part about this whole bullet point, right? Says there, we're adding these series of PvE sites in the world to focus on a fun experience when soloing PvE.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already touched on it somewhat. We don't know the subscription basis of the game, right? When the game
Mhm.
actually goes out into full fruition and it's out of early access, people can purchase and have a subscription of a certain plot here and there. But what about the people that don't want to have plots? This gives them an opportunity in order to still enjoy the game, still earn gold in a way, and still interact with those people that do have subscriptions and have
Exactly.
shops and stuff like that. This is
Yeah.
perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these. I had the idea too of so I've played a lot of Minecraft. I played a lot of, games in my day,
Mhm.
and one of the mods for Minecraft was this Twilight Forest dimension that you could go through, and they had points of interest there that were like a ruined shack. And when you went to that ruined shack, it would spawn like a dark druid skeleton that you could then fight. I would like to see some stuff like that where because I've seen these ruined shacks out in the woods and they look like they could have a chest there or some little lootables or something. And then when you go
Right?
there, these different things or dark entities could spawn from them. So I think having some stuff like that as well would be really, really cool to help flesh out the in between, like we're talking about. You're not the big
Mhm.
dungeons, not the smaller POIs, but like these tiny things that you can just stumble upon that aren't just necessarily I'm running through the woods. I know that 3 boars spawn there, 3 wolves spawn there, a bear spawns there because they're all in the exact same spot. So adding some variety to these smaller places would be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Let's catch up on
I'm
some
all for
chat.
it.
We got Robert in chat. Robert says he's sorry he's late to the party. What did I miss? Well, you can go back after, and I highly recommend you go back after we're done here and um, rewatch the beginning part and to hear all of the stuff that's coming in this update. But welcome into chat. Great you made it here. If you have any questions about this stuff or any comments you want to talk about, all the other bullet points that we've talked about before, I'm more than happy to rehash that stuff, but I'm glad you made it in. Maven says unmarked POIs. Yeah, exactly. Having these things that aren't necessarily like on the map that you can then, I would like to see cartography be its own in like profession. Remove all the maps from the game. Don't even give you a map. Don't even give you, they talk lower about giving you a compass, but I think maybe you should have to have an actual compass attached to your belt. You should have to have a belt where you can put things on it, a lantern that can give off light, a compass that can tell direction and stuff. I'm not saying necessarily you need to pull it out and hold it in your hand and tell which way's going which, but if you have it on your belt, you have a compass at the top of your screen. You're going north. That'd be nice. But I think that cartography would be really cool for the exploration and this soloable content, because if you go out there and you're mapping out these POIs, kind of like I'm mapping out dungeons. I forgot, for those of you who don't know, I have a couple streams so far of me mapping out some of the dungeons in PAX Day using this software. What is it called? It's called Dungeon Draft. And it's pretty cool software. It allows me to map out the dungeon and make a 3D representation for people to use so they can see where corridors go where and what connects and where the bosses spawn. It would be really cool to be able to do that in game and then sell those maps. You can have scribes copy them. You can have a press maybe where you're copying these maps and you can then sell these maps and you can have wrong information on them. You could willingly mislead somebody. I think that would be freaking awesome. Sure, it would force people to use third-party external overlays or maps on websites and stuff, but if they make it obtainable enough in-game to where I can go and map out this stuff, and it doesn't have to be super hard. Maybe you just have to go and remove Fog of War, and then you can place down markers and stuff, and then you can sell that. You could put, for instance, Star Citizen has a thing where stuff is starting to be persistent currently. You can go and put something in the woods, and it will stay there. I think that if you go and put a sword in the woods, it should stay there. You know, it's controversial. I know things need to despawn, trash needs to despawn, but if there was some way to make something stay there, you can like put a hidden cache out in the world and players could then go and find it with like treasure maps and stuff. That would add so much to the game. I know that was kind of a tangent off of the soloable PvE content, but having these POIs mapped out really gave me the thought of all of that. So Maven says the devs stated that they would release unannounced things as well. Yeah, 100%. And they've done that already with stack size changes and things like that. I hope that they continue to just drop stuff in. We try to bring information to you guys day one. We have a large clan. We get to go out and test all this stuff and go to these far reaches. I have a lot of information that comes in. We have our own database that we're fleshing out and stuff with loot drops and spawns. I try to bring information to you guys ASAP. And I am looking forward to when they start adding in the cryptid stuff into the world. We've already seen a ghost. We don't know too much about if it's a person, if it's a bot, because it hasn't been around anymore. So I don't know if it was just a script and it was running on a schedule or something, or if it was a player and they're not playing anymore. I have no idea, but things like that are going to be cool to see pop up in game. And that's why we have Blood, Bones, and Ancient Tomes over on our website where you can talk about all of these things that aren't necessarily announced in the game. Robert says, thanks, Maven. Much appreciated. I did read a generalized list. Sounds good and exciting for the future. Robert says, I'm currently mining in the wildlands between Barony and Tremin, or Briner and Tremin / Blood Bros. The very cool Stonehenge type POI. Yeah, we've seen those Stonehenges. There's those creepy trees. There's those little shacks. There's those catacombs, sarcophagus things that are above ground that are busted out of that look like they have monsters who came out of them. There's quite a few different POIs. There's different ruined houses and stuff. Yeah. And I was actually looking for lootables. Yeah, there's not really any lootables at those currently, Robert, as far as we know. But that is the soloable PvE content that we know about that's going to be coming at some point. But again, you can already solo some of this stuff. Raz is proof enough. They go on to talk about Unreal Engine updates now. We're getting very close to upgrading to Unreal Engine 5.3, after which we will immediately start working towards upgrading to 5.4. So it's really great to see that they're going to be keeping Unreal Engine up to date, because that's going to mean greater graphics fidelity. It's going to mean more features that they can mess around with, such as different shaders and stuff like that. Performance is going to be a huge one. And I think they even say that. They say here, we're hoping this will enable us to both improve game performance as well as make the visuals even more impressive. So not much to say about this other than If you know features that are coming in 5.3 and 5.4 for Unreal Engine, let us know what we could be looking forward to. But I think they're going to be fully utilizing and pushing the game's graphics to its limits, and I really hope that they can dial in the performance. The performance got a lot better. It was pretty bad a couple weeks ago with some update. They removed FSR. So now I don't have FSR anymore. They force you to use that other one. But it's gotten a lot better. But I used to get over 120 FPS while I'm streaming at 2K, while playing at 2K. Now I get around 60. So it's about cut in half. But I used to get like 20 last couple weeks. But it's gotten a lot better. Have the dev team talked about any LUA scripting support yet? What do you're gonna have to elaborate on that. What do you mean by that, EOTB? Do you mean us making scripts or them doing scripting? You're talking about scripting like how World of Warcraft has Lua scripts for bosses and stuff? Or what exactly do you mean by that? Yaya says, I think those creepy trees are going to come to life. That'd be freaking awesome. Raz says they look like nests. Yeah, they kind of look like cocoons of sorts. You mean add-on scripting? They have not said anything about the UI having add-ons or anything like that, so I'm not too sure. They might do something like that. I have a love-hate relationship with add-ons. I think add-ons need to be regulated pretty strictly in order to preserve the feel of the game. Like in World of Warcraft, some add-ons are almost mandatory. It's like if you don't have this, then it's that much harder. People can get so much of it, especially in PvP. People can get so much of an advantage over you if you don't have these add-ons that they do. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that it can give you unfair advantages unless you're forced into using these different add-ons. So it's kind of a touchy thing, but they might enable some scripting add-ons. Who knows? Maven says, I'm not sure we'll see add-ons, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know if we will or not. But it's good to know that they're going to be keeping Unreal Engine up to date. Hopefully that brings us some good performance boosts. The next thing they talk about is plot permissions. Massive, massive topic for us because being a big clan, permissions are a huge thing for us. They say we're adding more tiers of memberships to clans because right now you have like officers, you have like the leader, officers, and then normal people. There's like only 3, and you can't even change permissions based on those tiers. But they're going to be adding more tiers. Hopefully, they let us rename them as well. And that is going to, they're adding more tiers of memberships to clans and the ability to define plot/container permissions on a per clan member tier basis rather than granting the entire clan full access. I hope that they expand upon this and that this turns into them allowing for individuals as well. There's a fine line between allowing too much permissions or too little, or allowing too much control or too little control over permissions. And what I mean by that is if I have a plot that is technically set to clan, should I be able to also give access to that clan plot to, let's say, officers have access to the plot and officers have access to the chests? Should I be able to also give access to someone who's not in the clan? That could be a form of technically griefing. You're taking stuff outside of the clan, but if it's a trusted member who's a friend of mine, maybe that would be okay then. So it's going to need to be policed by the people, I think. I think the more features we get, I just don't know if allowing people access to clan stuff and also private people access to it is going to be a good mix, but we're getting permissions. They're going to be adding more memberships, so we can presumably add like a night role. We can have all of our ranks, and then you can give access to these chests or this plot based on your rank, which is something that, right now we have pseudo permissions to do that with the whole post office, but hopefully this gives us what we've been wanting to be able to control the ebb and flow of resources within the clan. What do you guys think would be some good permissions? What permissions are you hoping come with this update? Because they've just said more tiers of memberships and the ability to define plots and container permissions per tier. So that, I'm only going on based on what they're saying. That means per tier, if I have a knight role, I can make knights can access this. No one presumably will have whitelist, blacklist. So maybe everybody besides these people can access this, or everybody who's in this role can access it. We don't know. Hopefully we get a whitelist, blacklist, and nameable ranks, but let me know what you guys want to see in terms of permissions. Raz, you have anything to say about permissions?
I live in a shack down by the river.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want from me, brother?
EOTB says Conan movie, The Bat, like people hanging upside down, is what those trees remind me of. Yeah, they kind of look like cocooned people, don't they? Robert says, I was expecting the spooky tree to reach out and Venus flytrap me. That would be creepy as hell. Yaya says, a family unit that can access up to 15 people, etc. Oh, you mean like in terms of, oh, that'd be kind of cool too. That kind of reminds me. What if they do tie it into like the friends system? You can have different people on your friends list you can give access to as well to different things, but that would kind of be like just personal permissions. So I really hope that the permission system keeps getting more and more additions to it and keeps evolving. But this is a huge step in the right direction. This is massive. I don't want to underplay this at all. This update to permissions will make our lives so much easier. You will not have to be so restrictive with who you're letting in the clan. Because right now we have a very in-depth vetting system, and that's probably not really going to go away. But we can be a little more lax and more, liberal with who we're letting into the clan because we don't have to worry so much about trolls if I can give permissions to certain ranks. If you're just joined, you're not going to have access to any chest or anything because you're like on a probationary lower rank. And then as you become more trusted, you work your way up. We can give you more permissions. Maven says, I would like to see a designated designer tier that allows building but not destroying. Yeah, build deposit only, withdraw only, build permissions, exclude destroy permissions, things like that. I think will hopefully come. But again, this is a huge step in the right direction. EOTB says on the right system, allowing alt non-clan based to access the stations and place boxes for private use. That's one of those things too. I agree with you, but that's one of those things where I was talking about. It's kind of a touchy system. If you join a clan and your clan knows that they have a plot that you are allowing them to use to build X, Y, and Z, it's like an important building, but you've donated that plot. And then people are putting a bunch of stuff in there. It could be abused if people have an alt then who's not in the clan because they haven't been approved by the council or by the leader to get into the actual clan. They can then go and siphon stuff from that clan, those clan chests, because it's your plot, and steal it without anybody knowing where it's going. That's where I think the issue comes in. And I think maybe having a log of what went in and out of chests that are set to clan access so you know who took what would be good. And then it might be confusing though, because you'll have someone who's, let's say EOTB took X, Y, and Z from the clan chest. Well, they're not in the clan. How did they take stuff from the clan chest? Okay, it was the alt of the person who owns the property. You see where it can get kind of convoluted there and get a little confusing. So I think it's a fine line. They're gonna have to balance that and find the right balance. Clan versus account rights. Yeah, they could do that. If the plot is set to private, maybe then you can allow your alts to have access to it. But if it's set to a clan plot, you can't because you don't want alts who don't have clan access to be able to access stuff in there. I think a more fleshed out system is gonna come at some point, but it's good to see that we're getting some semblance of permissions. It's something I've been saying for a very long time. Robert says even having alliance access chest sharing, that'd be really cool. Yeah. I think that will come eventually once we have a proper alliance and rivalry system where you can actually go to war and have actual alliances. Then you can have crossover with your religion system, with your baronies, with all of your permissions and stuff. I think that would be really, really great for the game. Any other things that you guys have to say? How do you join or get the Discord address? To join my Discord, just type !Discord in chat, and it will give you a link that you can click to join our Discord, to join the Cheeky Buggers United Community Discord. Everybody is welcome to join over there. And if you'd like to join us in game and you'd like to submit an application to join the Order of the Blood Brothers, type !website, and you'll get a link to join our clan. You'll get over to our website where you can submit an application. But that is the plot permission update. I want to note too, they state that it is a plot permission update. That leads me to believe that there's going to be a insert other type of permission update at some point. They've literally labeled it a plot permission update for a reason. The next point they have here is a compass. It's interesting that this is its own bullet point. You'd think that would have been tied into something else, but they say compass. To improve navigating of the world, we're looking at adding a compass to the game's HUD, which will also have markers for the most important locations near you, such as your plots. I think that is going to be a big addition. Whenever you say, hey, head north, uh, hopefully it has like 120, 90, like different indicators on them as well. So we can use that for coordinating PvP and stuff. Jason, how's it going? Hope you're doing great. Welcome into the stream. We're just going over all the stuff that's going to be coming. Well, all the stuff that could potentially be coming in autumn. Again, remember, guys, the stuff that we're reading off here may not come in the autumn update. They said they're not 100% sure what's going to be coming in it, but this is stuff that they're currently working on. So compass, improved navigation in the world. I think that's going to be a great thing. Hopefully we can put markers on the map and then that will show up on the compass like as a little diamond or a star so we can navigate to those. That will also help with, we currently have like the whole winds thing where you can press G or whatever it is and the winds will guide you and as the crow flies towards your markers. Hopefully that ties in with the compass as well to help flesh out some of that navigation. But not too much to be said about it. It's a compass, right? The last point here is localization. It's basically going to allow you to change the language from English to translate into some other languages. They said like French and German, I think, are going to be the first languages that they're going to be looking into adding in terms of localizations. Yeah, right there. French and German, along with other languages that will follow eventually. So that is all the information that we have from this last post. Any other notes of anything that you think we should talk about, Raz, or anybody in chat? Bring up any topics that you guys want to talk about here at the tail end of this episode of PaxCast, or anything else that you want to talk about that we've already touched on. If you want to talk about something more, but Raz, do you have any final thoughts on any of this stuff?
Final thoughts on this, right, is the devs are working. It's a game. It's a passion project. They had a little break. Everyone's entitled to a break.
I think they're working hard. They're working pretty hard.
They are indeed working hard. Yeah. Let them cook.
Yep.
And that's all I got to say. Just let them cook.
We got to be patient, guys. We got to be patient. We got to let them you don't want half-baked bread. Go eat some raw dough and tell me how good it is. Put it in the oven for half the time it's supposed to be in there and let me know if that tastes good. We need these things to cook, right? We need to get them in our hands. We need content. I'm right there with you guys. We need content. I need content to be able to make content. I can't. That's why the PAX Day streams, the in-game ones, have slowed down a bit, and now they're gearing more towards us just chilling and chatting. We're going to be doing more RP coming up. We're going to be doing some more dungeon runs and mapping of dungeons. Those are like my 3 main pillars for PAX Day. But it's why I've started streaming some World of Warcraft and stuff, getting ready for the War Within. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the clan and in-game. But if there's nothing else that you guys want to talk about, we're going to wrap this up here. Join our Discord. We have ongoing chats about all of this stuff going on there. You see the roadmap before you. If you guys want to talk about anything on the roadmap too, bring it up on Discord. I'm always hanging out in chat, having a good time with people, with the community. So join us over there if you'd like to get more involved, get a little more behind the scenes, have some off the record chats with me and some of the other people that you've seen on some PaxCast episodes and that you've heard in the background. We're going to be doing, probably once we get another big content patch, or once we get this big content patch, we're going to do another knighting ceremony. We're going to do, because people need to get into their ranks and roles within the clan still. So we're going to be doing another knighting ceremony. We're going to be doing another blood oath ceremony for people who have not been able to take the blood oath yet. Some more RP stuff. I'm really looking forward to the future of the game. Hawk says sub cost will make or break this game. Absolutely. That's what I've said from the beginning. It's going to be either too much or too little. And I think they're going to start off on a more conservative amount, but I think they're taking this time during early access to gauge how much they need to charge to maintain their servers, because plots are directly correlated with server overhead. They need to be able to keep the lights on. They need to be able to make money. They need to be able to pay staff. They need to turn profit or the game's not going to do good. So they need to charge enough. The question is, how much is that enough? Robert says, is it okay to join the Blood Brothers if you're in a different zone? Tremen and nearby Dolavan, where the plots are closed out already. So I set up my character. Yeah, you do not need to be in our zone. We have satellites. We have forward operating bases. Raz just set up a forward operating base. We got all kinds of outposts. We got people in Inisgalia. We got people in all different zones. So no problem at all. Our main headquarters will remain our main headquarters. Once we eventually get a wipe, I'm trying to find a big, nice, flat, open area for us to just plop down in because our clan grew. I never knew the clan was going to be this big. I didn't know that the channel was going to grow as fast as it did. All this stuff was a shock to me. So we're not in the best place to have a big sprawling city. I want to have Baldur's Gate. I want to have a giant city with alleyways and sewers and like underneath buildings and back alleys and farming plots and a big cathedral. And I want to have a sprawling city where we have an entire block grid, and that's going to be our headquarters. We can put a wall all the way around it, not to keep people out, but to keep monsters out and for aesthetics. So eventually we're going to be moving to probably a big flat open area. I don't know where that's going to be yet. Once trees stop growing through your plots, that can be pretty much anywhere that's flat enough because the trees won't come through. But you are more than welcome. Everybody is more than welcome to join the Order of the Blood Brothers. You do not need to be in Tremen. You just need to know where the headquarters is, and you can come by and hang out with us at any time. And if you don't want to join us personally, you don't want to assimilate, you don't have to. We RP with everybody. If you just want to come by and hang out with us, if you want to hire us for something, if you want to have fun with us, we do our dungeon runs clan only right now, just because we have so many people within our own clan that we're trying to get them up to speed on how combat works. We have some people who are new to the game, so we're focusing on helping out our blood brothers. You know, that's how it works. You help out the people who are in your clan before you help your own people before you help other people. That's just how it works. We're loyal to each other, so we're helping each other out. But you do not need to be in our zone. I'll run the Asia server for you, Hawk says. Oh, gotcha. Maven says Shaw's Embrace, haha. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future of PAX Day. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming. I have so much high hopes for this game that I really hope the devs can pull through on this. I think they can. They gotta be they're working very hard. They've got to just be running around like chickens with their heads cut off trying to get all of this together. I don't think they thought it was going to be this big. I mean, there's still thousands of people playing this game daily, and we haven't had content since it came out. Now, I know like the smaller clans, it's easier for them to still have stuff to do, or solo players, because you didn't progress as fast as we did. We've been endgame for weeks and weeks, like a long time now. We've been at like the end of the rope there as far as content goes. But that allows us more freedom to be able to dive down into these things, to engage with the community more, to help other people out and just have fun. Because that's what we're all about here at the Order of the Blood Brothers, at the Inner Sleuths, at Cheeky Buggers United. We are all about helping new players learn the game. I love answering your guys' questions, engaging with you guys. So please join our Discord, join our clan if you're so inclined. Have fun with us, engage with us. We love hanging out with you guys. Raz, if there's anything else you want to say here in the outro, let the people have it. And if you guys have anything else in chat, otherwise we're going to be wrapping this one up here so we can move on to the next thing.
The only thing I got to say is sit tight. It's coming. And I don't want to sound like one of those, oh, it's going to be the greatest thing in the world. No. Just sit tight. Be patient. Like,
we all just got to be patient.
When Xbox came out, we weren't ready for Xbox Live. Look at Xbox Live and how well that turned out. You know what I'm saying? Like, be patient.
Yeah, it's going to be worth the wait. You know, I just keep thinking of when the game goes full release, it's going to be worth the wait. We're going to have so many cool systems in game. I still want small things like being able to sit for more than 30 seconds without my character standing up. If I can just sit down and have a conversation with someone at a table, huge win in my book. So the stuff's coming. Hawk says low pop here, so not much lag. Oh, gotcha. Yaya says, thanks for the chat. Got to run. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody on your way out, if you're not already subscribed, if you could drop a subscription on the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. It's going to help increase our reach, let YouTube know I'm doing a good job, help us get closer to that sub goal. If you have not yet given it a thumb up on your way out, please give it a thumb up. Go back and watch previous episodes as well, and stay up to date with all things PAX Day, because we got a bunch of content that we've put out. We have hundreds and hundreds of hours backlogged already that you guys can go and check out. We are on US East, Danu RP. Yep. Pavel, there you go. But if you could give us a thumbs up on the way out, drop a subscription, I would greatly appreciate it. Huge shout out to all of my channel members who are directly helping to support the channel. You guys are the best. I'm trying to get some scrolling list of people, supporters. I'm working on some new overlays and stuff to give you guys credit. I've recently, it was a while ago now, I redid the Discord where you guys actually get special roles and ranks, and your perks carry over to Discord. You just have to link your YouTube to your Discord. And then if you're on my Discord server, you will get those perks. But huge shout out to all of the channel members. You guys have been so great. You can see the little star next to them. That star gets upgraded the longer they have been a member. The longer you've consecutively been a member, that will go up. We have 3 tiers. We have junior and senior sleuth, and then we have the sleuth squad. So that is the tier of memberships that we currently have. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you to all of my recent subscribers, everyone who's been interacting with Tangia. That's been a lot of fun. It keeps the streams nice and interesting. But yeah, we are over on US East ANURP. If you guys would like to join us, !! Discord, ! website. If you'd like to interact with Tangia, that is ! Tangia. But that's going to wrap up this episode of PaxCast. I look forward to the 13th, August 13th, 6 a.m. We're getting some content. Hopefully it's going to have some more stuff in it that's not announced just yet because there's only a couple things on there currently. Hopefully it's pretty big. We'll do a PaxCast on it, so stay tuned for that. Ring that bell so you guys can get those notifications. All of my content gets pushed on our Discord as well as the main PAX Day. We try to push it on there as well so we can bring it to the bigger audience. But thanks for tuning in. You guys have been great, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.